Everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name's Stephen Aitchison, and today I just want to kind of talk about what's going on just now. Obviously, we know there's a crash kind of happening just now. Whether it's a correction, a crash, bear market, nobody really knows if we're being really honest. But I'd like to give you my kind of perspective on things. You're going to hear lots of different things over the coming days or coming hours and days about be it bear markets, bull markets, what's happening, macro markets, etc. I'd like to give you kind of my opinion what's happening just now. When we're looking at this short term, and we have to look at short term and long term as well, and the much kind of bigger picture of the long term as well, and that's what I'm kind of going to look to. I'm just kind of ranting here. I'm just kind of going off what I'm thinking is happening, the bigger picture here. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, if we're looking at this and say, if we come back to this moment in kind of 10 years' time, we will see this or these past months as some of the most pivotal moments in history. I'm talking about the crypto market and kind of what's happening here. What we're seeing just now is a shift. We're seeing a shift of power, I think, and is being run by communities. It's being run by people who are saying enough is enough, and standing up to the governments and the government bodies and saying we're going to do things our way because the way you're doing things is just shit just now. And it has been for hundreds of years. And it has been because it's the big boys looking out for the big boys, if we're being really honest here. And that's what the government agencies do. That's what they are. That's what they've been. That's where... And it's not conspiracy theories. We've seen lots of evidence, even in the past couple of years, we've seen lots of evidence to show they're looking out for themselves and not for the people. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin especially, began as an idea to take back the power from the likes of the government and the big boys that are playing in it, and take back that power and give it back to the community. This is what's happening right at this very moment. We're at a pivotal moment just now, saying we are taking back control of our own destiny, of our own future, and we do not need the governments. Now, there's never been a time in history where we've had something to replace what the governments are spoon-feeding us, i.e. currency. The dollar, the pound, the euro, whatever, the yen. That's government controlled. And you can see it's government controlled just now because they're printing more and more and more money all the time. That shouldn't be done. We shouldn't be doing that. This is what's ruining the economy, as well as lots of other things as well. So that's the first thing. We're seeing a shift to community power. And we're seeing it in the form of community collectives gathering together to buy projects and get invested and become a part of the community of the projects they're investing in. Ethereum, for example, Bitcoin, for example, Terra, Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, Cosmos, Avalanche. All of these projects, they're all layer ones, you'll notice as well. All of these projects we're getting involved in just now, becoming a part of the community. And because we're a part of the community, we're getting rewarded for being a part of that community as well. So we're getting rewarded by staking Ethereum. We're getting rewarded by staking Terra Luna. We're getting rewarded by staking Avalanche. We're getting rewarded by getting airdropped tokens because we're part of the community. So we're now taking stances and saying, okay, we're going to become part of your community. We're going to help spread the word about your community as well. And it's blown up. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're getting rewarded for that. And when we're getting rewarded for that, we're actually seeing money that we can spend. We're seeing cryptocurrency that we can spend to buy other things, to buy goods and services. And obviously, there's still a transitional period. If we think of this as a big picture just now, we think of it as a bridging period just now. So if you think old money, cryptocurrency, there's a bridge happening just now, and we're standing on that bridge at the moment. Now, sometimes that bridge feels like it's just a rope bridge and it's very, very shaky. and sometimes it's going to feel like a solid steel structure, whereby we just know everybody can walk from the old system to the new system. And I feel that's kind of where we're going just now. It was very, very shaky and very tentative before. It's like we're on a rope bridge from 2011 onwards. But today, right this moment, 2021, is cementing what's happening in DeFi, what's happening in the metaverse, what's happening in gaming, what's happening in all of kind of cryptocurrency just now. That bridge is becoming even more solid every single day. Literally every single day. So much so that we're thinking, and we can see in the not too distant future, that 10 years, for example, we are never going to need a bank in our history ever again. Banks will not be required. Banks are controlled by the governments or government bodies as well, and governments have got a hand in the banks. The banks are taking the money for themselves. Big boys are playing to help out the other big boys. They're fractionalizing their money and they're redistributing it for themselves. It's not for us. And we're providing everything and they're taking everything and not giving anything back. That is changing. This is what we're seeing here. This is the start of it. This is why we're seeing these topsy-turvy turns. And we'll get down into the micro point of view. I'm looking at the macro point of view just now. So things are changing. And things are going to change more rapidly than we can imagine. Things are changing just now. What's happening in the stock markets just now is a lot of people are saying, this is not working. We're kind of afraid of what's happening, so we're going to sell off and go into the dollar or go into the pound or go into the yen or whatever. And then they're scared about what's happening with the currencies as well, because they're falling. They're going down as well. So where do they go? Is there a new system? Everybody's looking for a new system. There's never ever been a way out. Cryptocurrency offers that way out. And that's what's happening just now. Cryptocurrency offers a way out of this massive control that governments, government bodies and the big players have just now. And it's a big shift. Are they getting into cryptocurrency and what we're doing just now and what we have been doing for the last couple of years? Yes, of course. They still can't let go of that control, but there's not going to be nowhere near as much control as they have at this very moment in time. The problem is, or the good thing for us, we're kind of already in it. We know what's going on. Kinda know what's going on. But most people, 99.5% of the world's population, haven't a clue about cryptocurrency. Haven't a clue what's going on just now. Billions of people around the world do not have a clue about it. So it's about the onboarding, and we're slowly doing that over the last 4, 5 years, 10 years. We're slowly doing it, and it's becoming exponential every single year. There's more and more people coming into crypto. You can see that with the number of new wallets, kind of in Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other big layer ones, etc. So there's more and more people coming in, but there's going to be even more people coming in the future, and that's why cryptocurrency is never going to go away. It's not going to. That bridge is never going to collapse now. It's too solid. Because the big institutional investors are getting in as well, because they still want to make money. Where do they make money? They're making in the stock market? No. They're making in the bond market? No. They're not satisfied with 5% yields anymore. They want 20% just for staking. They want 100% just for capital appreciation of the stocks or the projects, like Ethereum, for example. That's what's happening here. We're shifting over just now. And it's a big, 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 big moment in history. And it's beautiful and it's scary as hell at the same time. When we're seeing everything going down, our portfolio going down by 60% over the last couple of weeks, unless you're shorting. It is scary. It's a scary moment in time just now as well. But that'll come back. That'll come back the more people get in. So what I think, so if we look at the micro point of view, what I think just now, if we go over to the charts. So we'll go over to the stock markets first of all. You can see Dow Jones 34,580 and it has been up at 36,000. Its high point. And we'll just go into the weekly and look at the bigger picture. And you can see for the last 4 weeks on the weekly has been dropping. It doesn't happen that often with the Dow Jones. If you go back in history, 4 weeks in a row. It doesn't really happen that often, and it tends to jump back up. And from a macro point of view, if we zoom out the bigger picture, that is still mental bullish. That's still crazy bullish just now. So people are selling off just now because they're scared of what's happening in the economy. So that's the Dow Jones, SPX, same again. The last 2 weeks dropped big time, and we get that all over the world just now. So if we look, so the Hang Seng has fallen from 5,000 to 3,625. Nasdaq is falling as well. It just looks like a blip when you're looking at it on the weekly. It doesn't look that big, but people are getting scared. New Zealand 50 index falling. The DAX going down over the last couple of weeks. 16,000 down to 15,000. Doesn't seem like much to us in the crypto world because 5-10% here or there is just a normal day, literally a normal day in crypto. But people are getting scared. And this is why crypto's fallen as well. Crypto's fallen because these markets have fallen. And there is a direct correlation. If you get a big drop in the markets, in the stock markets around the world, you're going to get a big drop in crypto. It's natural. People sell out of their stocks and want to go into dollar, pound, euro, yen, whatever it is, because they feel it's safer. They feel, being the operative kind of phrase there, not necessarily safer, but that's what they feel at the moment. And then they're going to get out of the riskier plays that they've got just now, and that is cryptocurrency. What they deem as riskier, not knowing that all this here is the more risky just now. So that's what's happening. The whole stock markets around the world is falling because people are selling out their stocks and shares, and they're going to be selling out the riskier investments like cryptocurrency as well and going into dollar. That's really what's happening here, if we're being really honest. That's not going to be the case for the longer term, because generally, now if we go to the Bitcoin chart, we can see it's kind of falling as well, obviously, because it's deemed as a riskier investment in the traditional world. So people are going to the dollar just now, or USDT just now. And for good reason as well. We've passed these kind of bigger plays just now, and the bigger support lines and the bigger resistance lines, etc. So we'll just go over a bit about that just now. We're sitting at 47,602 just now. Where can we go from here? Well, we've got support lines. We're just going to make it really easy. We've got support lines round about the 43,000 level, then at the 40,000 level, 35,000 level, and all the way down to 29,000. Cannot see it going down below 29,000. In fact, I can't really see it going below 40,000. But we have to look at both sides of this. We have to look at both sides. So in the short term, December, traditionally a time where people are spending more time with their family. They're spending kind of time thinking about Christmas, and they're not really thinking about the markets. So December could be a slow month for Bitcoin and the rest of the market as well. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Nobody knows what's going to happen here. But if we're thinking about the longer term, we're still macro bullish. If we look at that, we're still extremely bullish. And again, this is just a blip on the Bitcoin chart. Just now, we'll take out all these. That's just a blip on the Bitcoin chart. Now that represents a 38% drop, which is kind of huge when you think about it, but it's nothing in the grand scheme of things. When we look at this, we're still extremely bullish for Bitcoin over the longer period. Now, where could we come down to? Like I said, we could come down to 29,000. Again, that's going to be the strong support. If it got below 29,000, obviously I'd be really concerned, and you'd probably just walk away and put your head under the covers at that, or you position yourself for what could happen as well. How do you position yourself? Well, there's lots of different things you can do. You can sell off and just go into USDT and wait on the drop and put in your orders for 35,000, 30,000, 40,000, whatever you want to do. Or you can just hold. If you're a long-term holder in Bitcoin, you just hold. The trouble comes when this is going to be a period, or possibly a period, when a lot of altcoins are just going to disappear because they've fallen too much and people have just abandoned them. This is when we're going to get the big problems. But on the bullish side, if we look at Ethereum just now, Ethereum is 3,947. That's not that bad a drop just now. That's 17%. It did spike down to 27% drop. But at the moment, 3,948. If we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin, we're still really bullish on that. So Ethereum is 8.3% of the Bitcoin price just now, or 8.3 million Satoshi at the moment. And I think we could, and I've spoke about this before, I think we could get to, if we look on the weekly and the kind of bigger picture, we could get to 23%. Now, it just depends on what price Bitcoin is going to be. If Bitcoin goes down to $40,000 and Ethereum is 23% of that price, and then we're still talking around about $8,600 or something like that for Ethereum. So, although we can say that could go up, obviously Bitcoin price could come down. So the ideal scenario, in which I think is going to happen, we're kind of going to go sideways, probably for the next month or so, until, and we still rely on the big players coming in, until the kind of hedge funds and the big funds, institutional funds, come in and start making Q1 allocations. Where do you think the Q1 allocations are going to go? They're going to go into Bitcoin, yes, for sure, if the price is still low, because they see that as obviously a bargain. But the main places are going to be, I would imagine, is going to be Ethereum. It's going to go into that. This is going to push this right up as well. We could see in January. Ethereum 2.0 is really going to kick in January, February time, possibly up until Q1. Layer 2 is coming out as well, and there's going to be cheaper fees for that as well. I spoke about one ZK Sync as well. I gave that to the group. I don't think I actually shared on YouTube. But ZK Sync, I think if you're setting up wallets for that, I think could be extremely lucrative in the future when they come out with a token. And that's a layer 2 that could be really big for Ethereum. But Ethereum 2.0, make no mistake, Ethereum is going to 10,000 very, very soon. It's going to 20,000, and I think it could go even higher than that in the longer term for Ethereum. I just think the case for Ethereum is extremely bullish, as is the case for the likes of Terra Luna, as is the case for the likes of Polkadot. I'm not so sure about Cardano. I just don't know just now. I don't see the kind of adoption there just now. But once the adoption starts kicking in, then obviously that's going to go up much higher as well. So short term is looking very bearish just now, but not so bearish for Ethereum. So we could see Ethereum popping up. It's coming down at the moment, 8.3%. It was at 8.5%, so it's coming down, but you can see the ups and downs there. But the big thing for Ethereum is come through this 4-year symmetrical triangle. If we look at that, a 4-year in the making symmetrical triangle, first time ever is broken out of that. So when it breaks out, it should break out hard, and it's breaking out just now, kind of big time. So we'll see what happens with Ethereum. I think there's going to be some surprises along the way with Ethereum, and especially going into January, February time. All this kind of means then that this cycle that everybody was talking about, and I thought myself, it's going to end in December. It's probably not going to end in December. It's just going to trundle its way through December, and then we're going to kickstart in January, February again. So this could last through to summer 2022 and beyond as well. And it could be a slow rise up for Bitcoin. It could just be a slow rise up from here. And it just creeps on up. Instead of kind of shooting up to the $120,000 area, it could just be a slow rise up where you're going to get these kind of peaks and troughs that we've seen all the way along. And it's not going to be this big kind of end of year cycle finish and a blow off top. We'll just slowly creeping up. So we'll go kind of sideways. But longer term, we're seeing the start of something big here. This is the start. It's not the start. We're right in the middle of something big, and we don't even realize it yet. So the bigger picture, we've been talking about the kind of metaverses and things like that. And I'd said a couple of years ago, I've been on Facebook for a while. I was a social media influencer on Facebook for a long time, from 2015. And I kind of made a lot of money on Facebook teaching other people how to grow their Facebook page. So this is my kind of main Facebook page, and there's 3.5 million people, 3.65 million people like the page. And I wrote quotes. I kind of wrote quotes and kind of made videos. I did lives every single day in the personal development space. And that's where I made a lot of money. But in 2017, I seen where kind of Facebook was going, that a lot of people were going to be coming off Facebook because of the privacy issues, etc. But also seen what they were doing with Oculus and what they were looking to do. And I've said in a couple of videos previously, back in 2017, 2018, 19, that Facebook are going to be coming really big in the kind of VR world, the virtual reality world. And they're going to make a play for and control that as much as possible. That is starting to happen. Obviously, they're changing their name to Meta just now from Facebook, but they've lost the trust. They've lost that trust. So not everybody, most people are not going to go over to Facebook in their kind of meta world. That's not going to happen. But in the cryptocurrency world, you are going to get that. You're going to get people moving over, and this is what I was talking about, community. You're going to get people moving over to the community in the virtual kind of reality, in this kind of the metaverses, Sandbox, Decentraland, for example, and the ones that are coming up as well. A lot of people are building their own kind of metaverses. So this is what's going to happen. This is where the shift is going to happen as well, and this is where you're going to get all the shops. You're not going to have any shops in 10 years' time because they'll all be shut down. You're not going to have those traditional buildings where you can walk in. They'll just have one big mall where you can go in your city, and that will be it. It'll just be one big place so you can go in, because still people like to touch. But even then, the technology is going to move on that much that you will be able to touch things in the virtual reality world as well. So this is all kind of part of the bigger picture, and is where you decide where you want to be in that bigger picture and how far you want to go. And how excited you are. I'm really excited about kind of change. I love change. I think change brings innovation. I think change gets people out of that stagnated kind of mindset that they're in. And this is where we are just now. We're in a stagnated mindset just now, whereby we're just complacent about things going with the flow, and the government's going to look after us and everything else. And we now know that's not the case. We now know the government's effing everything up, big style. Just now, and the government bodies and all the big kind of players out there as well, they're out for themselves, and we have to take back control. And this is the start of it. This is the real start of it. Bitcoin was the idea of it, and a brilliant idea it was, and now it's evolving. It's evolving all the time, and we're part of that. And where you are in that, and what you decide to do today, is going to determine your future in this as well. But make no mistake, things are changing. Things are changing faster than we actually realise, and we're part of it. And now it's about staking your claim on that. So as the question is, kind of what do? Do you invest just now in the kind of metaverses, in the singular metaverses, or do you wait and see what's happening and just invest in the layer ones, for example, like Ethereum, like Bitcoin, like Terra Luna, Polkadot, etc.? Do you invest in those just now? Do you invest in the gaming side of things, the metaverses? And that's the big question we have to answer just now. It's just, what do we invest in at the moment? My thinking is that gaming and the metaverse is going to bring more people in than any other category in the crypto world. So when you look at DeFi, that's going to bring a lot of people in, and it's bringing people in. It's bringing the big institutional investors in. But when you look at the institutional investors as a whole and as a percentage of the world's population, then it's not going to be that much that's coming in. Financially, there's going to be a lot of money coming in, but we're talking about we need people in for this community, for this network effect that we've been talking about. We need actual people in. So as a percentage, gaming and metaverse are going to be the obvious answer here. There's lots of other categories as well, but gaming and the metaverse, gaming in particular, for the next year or so, I would say is going to bring mass adoption to cryptocurrency because it lends itself so well to that. And you're going to get socials as well. If you look at the kind of social media platforms, not even social media platform, social construct platforms where you're going to form your own identity as well, and we're going to become NFTs where our value can go up or down as well. Sounds really strange, but I've been saying that for a couple of years as well, and we're starting to see that happen. as well. Community is going to be the heart of everything. I'm seeing that at CYT Blockchain Ventures. I'm seeing that CYT-Crypto Gems group as well. And we're only small scale. This channel I've got just now is tiny compared to others. But you've got other bigger channels that are really forming a great community. And that's the key here. The key to all of this is about you being part of a community and staking your claim in that community and making yourself useful in that community as well. Okay, that's my rant over. I don't know if any of that made sense. I'm going to post it anyway and see if it does kind of ring true with anybody. And let me know what your thoughts are down below. Okay, until next video, namaste, take care, bye now.